Welcome back. Local researchers are studying why North Atlantic right whales are migrating out of our area and into northern waters in Canada.
As part of our Climate 2022 coverage, meteorologist Pamela Gardner spoke with those researchers who believe rapidly warming waters in the Gulf of Maine could be playing a role. They're just not sure how.
The North Atlantic right whale, such a beautiful, large creature off of our own New England coastline, swimming around in our very mild waters right here at home. For decades, these whales would actually come to feed right here in the Gulf of Maine every summer, from Cape Cod Bay down to the south, all the way up to the Bay of Fundy off the coast of Nova Scotia. But over the last 10 years, scientists that study the whales have found they've moved even farther north into the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and that migration has had deadly consequences. The North Atlantic right whale, one of the most critically endangered animals on the planet. These researchers from the New England Aquarium are studying these majestic creatures. And they're collecting their poop. Yes, this is a story about whale poop.
We're behind the scenes here at the New England Aquarium. So on the top floor, we have our laboratory. So come on in and I'll show you the archive.
Dr. Liz Burgess is a research scientist with the New England Aquarium that studies hormone changes in right whales.
So nutritional stress is of really great concern for this species, as is their reproductive viability as well. So all of these things we're using hormones to better understand what's happening.
Unfortunately, the easiest way to collect hormones is through their feces.
So this is possibly the world's largest collection of whale poop.
That's really cool. I'm honored to see your collection. What they're finding through the hormones is that the right whales are under an extreme amount of stress right now. Burgess believes that the stress could be tied to a rapidly changing environment.
Since 2010, we've seen a movement out of the eastern Gulf of Maine, which are the summertime and fall habitats, and they've moved up to the Gulf of St. Lawrence.
Dan Pendleton, who's been studying the right whale migration, says that move north of Nova Scotia into one of North America's busiest shipping corridors has caught researchers by surprise.
About 17 whales died in the Gulf of St. Lawrence a few years ago because they unexpectedly showed up in the middle of a fishing season, and they were struck by vessels and entangled in fishing gear.
So here at New England Aquarium, we have a front row seat to impacts associated with climate change.
Sarah Ryder is the director of ocean policy and says one of the primary focuses of research at the aquarium is the rising temperatures in the Gulf of Maine. The Gulf of Maine, which stretches from Cape Cod Bay up to Nova Scotia, is one of the fastest warming bodies of ocean water on Earth. Last year, the Gulf of Maine Research Institute says it was the highest average temperature observed to date at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, more than 4 degrees higher than normal.
And one of the things that we're finding with the North Atlantic right whale is that because they're on the move, and we're not sure quite why they're on the move in terms of following their food source or because of the temperature.
Baleen grows continuously throughout a whale's life.
Burgess says another way they collect hormones is through the whale's teeth, or baleen.
So the only way to get baleen is from a dead whale. Particularly in death, right whales have a story to tell, so it's really important to get these samples.
She's hopeful that story will help decipher how climate change is affecting the right whales and save them from extinction. Pamela Gardner, NBC 10 Boston.